Good day, fellow investors. Welcome to Arabian Property Pulse, your weekly podcast dedicated to the real estate market in the Middle East. Fueled by coffee and powered by our sponsor, Nelson Park Property, I'm your host, Jeffrey Asselstine. Good day, everyone. Welcome to our next episode. And today, I want to talk about a question I get asked almost every day. And that is, what's the value of my property? So when dealing with the nature of real estate, of course, we do a lot with rentals, a lot with sales, deal with a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers. And so the question I get all the time from sellers and or owners or people that are considering selling is, what's the value of my property? And when I get asked that question, I think most people are hoping, and I may be wrong, but I think in general, most people are asking themselves, what is the price, right? What's the price of my property today if I was to sell it? And a lot of times in people's minds, the thinking is, well, there is a price. My property has a certain size, it's a certain view, it's a certain level, it's a certain finish, and it has a price. And the whole question of price and the price in the market is very, very subjective. And this is what I try to share with sellers when they're looking at selling their property, that it's not always a clear answer. Okay, you have a 2-bedroom, 167 square meter property in Zigzag Tower, so this is the price. There are a lot of factors that go into a price. And I'll just add some of those today just to get you thinking about this, and to get you thinking as well, particularly also for buyers when they're looking to buy. The question that they'll ask is, well, what's the price of the property? What should the price be of a property I'm looking to buy? And so there are many, many factors that go into the sale price of a property. So I'm going to state some of the more obvious ones. Then I'm going to talk to you about the biggest factor, which I think most people don't consider. So when I look at, say, the value of a property, and so today I'm going to mainly talk about Qatar, although a lot of this holds for Dubai. I'm going to talk about Qatar in particularly because one of the challenges today in Qatar, and that is due to change hopefully the next year or so, is there's not a lot of reliable data in the market for how much properties has been sold for. So we look at all the sales of properties in the Pearl or Lusail. There isn't an accurate database that you can go to and find out, okay, that's the price, that's the price, that's the price. It's not widely available to people so they know exactly what it is. And even then, it would say, when the data is available, it would say perhaps the size and the building. But there are so many factors, and I'll look at what floor is the property on. The view of the property is a huge, huge, huge issue. Is it, the great open sea view? Is it facing the marina, or is it facing the building next door? Is the building next door right beside it, or is there a canal between? Those have a big impact. Also, just the general quality of the property. So a lot of times sellers will call me and say, Jeff, I have this property. What's the value? And I really refrain from giving a value over the telephone. Until I see the property, I can't give a value. Again, I need to see which floor it's on. Either they'll say, well, it's on this floor and it's this view. But we need to see the condition of the property. Is it kept well? Does it show well? In other words, if I take a client who wants to buy it and they go in the property, is it full of, is it full of junk? Is the place so full of junk you can't get a good view of how you can live in it yourself, right? Or is it neatly tended? Has it been recently upgraded? Has been marble put into the bathrooms? Is the floor the same? Is the painting in good condition? So all those things can have a real impact on the value. And again, often when people call up, they say, well, no, just tell me the value. You know the market. Well, there isn't. There isn't just a set value. There are so many factors that go in to what the value of a property is. But let me give you the last one. And actually, before I tell you the last one, let me give you a little example. I'm going to talk about data. So many, many years ago, I was selling a property I owned in Canada, and I had it for sale for $180,000. It was a 2-bedroom condo. And it was for sale for $180,000. As it happens, the two next to mine were also for sale. The one next door was $182,000, and the one after that was $184,000. So what was the difference? The one with $182,000 had new wood floors in the living room. The one that was $184,000 also had new wood floors, and they had solid oak cabinets. I had thinner oak cabinets. They had solid oak. So you had that price differential just based on those two factors. And why the prices were so close, because there's so much data in the market available. You can't have a property that's way out of line with the others. So I'll come back now to Qatar. And why do we see such varying prices? So one of the things clients will say to me, particularly buyers, they'll go onto Property Finder, they'll go onto Qatar Living, or I'll show them 2 or 3 properties which are very, very similar, but very, very wide range in price. So what's the difference? Well, the difference often is the seller. The seller will have a view of what their property is worth. And as much as I may try to suggest to the seller that this is the right price for your property, if you want to sell it, a seller will have a strong view. And the market in Qatar is maturing, but it's still not fully mature. So you'll see a lot of times a very wide range of prices for what appear to be almost identical units. And also what we see a lot in Qatar, because there's no exclusivity for listings, you might even see the same property listed by different brokers for different prices, because either the owner has told the broker a different price, or the broker is being maybe a bit cavalier with their listing, and they've either gone below what they would normally put up, or they've gone for a higher price. Depends on what their mood is. So I give you all those things to just to get you to think about when looking at a price. There's really no such thing as a set price. Whether you're buying or selling, there are a lot of variables that go into a selling price for property. And the best thing to do is reach out to your friendly broker. I highly recommend Nelson Park. Reach out to your broker, let them come and see the property, talk to you about it, and give you a really accurate valuation. If it's just a valuation to get an idea or a valuation to sell, they can give you that price and help you to sell your property as quickly as possible. And if you're looking to buy, again, use your broker, look at a lot of different options, but you may see some real fluctuations because different sellers have different opinions on their property. And the market isn't so mature that it's so finely tuned that there's a set price. Be aware of that when you're looking. Like anything, do a lot of shopping. It's a bit like buying running shoes, right? Do different shoppings, there are different shops, try different pairs on, find the right fit for you, for the right price for you, and go ahead and enjoy your purchase. The same thing with property. Look at a lot of options, let your broker do a good job, show you what's available, and from there on make your decision. Hopefully that gave you something to think about. Enjoy your week, and if you need assistance with any of your real estate needs, get in touch with Nelson Park Property at nelsonparkproperty.com.